cards. First, you hide the cards so the person who's helping you can't see.
I'm gonna pass them to you.
Well, you should play them out so they can see it rather
Yeah,
than...
you know, alright,
rather
okay.
than, you know...
Sorry guys, saw first time. I do
Rather
see a
than being-
planeswalker though.
He's
See,
like,
I told you
here's
guys.
how
Alright.
I would keep this pack, by which I mean nobody else can actually see it.
Let's do this.
You should put those off.
You got a planeswalker?
Yes, we did. Sorry, I spoiled it.
Is it a crappy one? I
No.
hope so.
It's not. It's Grixis in nature.
Oh.
Taking a look at this pack, the first card I would probably take, honestly, is, you may call me crazy, but I'd probably take the Pacifism.
Pacifism is not terrible.
It's either Pacifism or Divine Verdict. Like the format's just, you know, it's sealed, so it's so much more creature centered. I just think that, and we all know removal's
So
prime.
I'm going to call you crazy and say that Flames of the Firebrand is much, much better than either of those two cards that you just mentioned.
Better than Divine Verdict?
Yes. This costs 3. This costs 4. This can maybe take out 2 creatures.
Instant speed.
Instant speed with a worse targeting restriction.
It's possible.
This cannot hit utility creatures. If you're getting owned by a utility creature and you have Divine Verdict, you're kind of just done.
You sure you don't
Also,
want to pick... You sure you don't want to pick Craterize?
yes.
Alright, so...
There is no land that I want to destroy.
You want to just get rid of the cards that you just don't take. You won't even want to think about first.
That's what I meant.
And it's Disentomb,
He's okay.
the Gate. Though a 3/3 for 3 is solid. Not gonna
well,
lie.
if you limit it to first picks,
Yeah.
then yeah, I think you've...
No, this card is a great utility card,
But it's not a first pick.
but it is not a first pick.
Not with what else is in this pack. I think you're talking this 3, maybe Nicol Bolas if you want to be cute about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Nicol Bolas is kind of,
look.
if you're talking limited, it's too slow.
I know it's a draft. All right, if you're not picking for money, right? And I know it's a mythic planeswalker, blah blah blah, right? And you want to take it, and if you pass it to your left, the person next to you is probably going to be like, "Are you crazy?" But honestly, 8 is a lot in sealed, and the color palette is it's not easy to do.
There's not enough fixing. It's just...
So, like I said, if you're playing to actually want to build a good deck, 3 colors is probably not where you want to be anyway, and it costs way too much. Very cool card though. I think it'll have some impact in Constructed at some point. But again, 8 is a lot. So yeah, it comes down to removal. Kind of shocking. But yeah, I guess, you know, I have to look and I have to agree.
Yeah.
This card is better than this. This is... Pick 1, 2, even though it's instant speed, it does cost 1 more, and it does have the targeting restriction, like you said. And that, we can probably say, is a 3rd.
Probably.
Probably.
Unless, you know, at that point it depends on what else you pick, you know.
Yeah.
Elvish Visionary is good if you got, like, some giant green beater.
I mean, I think for this like size, you maybe just go 4 deep, because at that point, it really comes down to what you're in anyway.
Okay. So if we're going to go 4 deep, then I think
I just put this in there. If this is the 4th card, I might just take it just because.
Well, yeah, okay, fine. Mythic,
But anyway.
4th pick, Mythic Rare.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, after playing, I'm going to put this guy in that mix.
Yeah.
He is.
See, I've yet to do a 2013
Exalted.
Sealed
If
event
you have other exalted
draft,
creatures to support, this guy has a big butt to stabilize the board, and you can swing with whatever. You know, it makes it would make a 1/1 swing as a 2/2. If you have one other exalted creature, it's swinging as a 3/3.
I think these two are on the same level. I mean, a 1/1 for 2, but it lets you draw a card. I like to draw cards.
He doesn't like drawing cards.
I mean, it blocks it takes their their 2. It trades with a lot of their 2 drops as well. Like there's a lot of 2/1 creatures. You know, 1/1. So, I mean, at the very least, it's a cantrip. You know.
Also, Roaring Primadox is a combo with, if you picked like a Thrag Tusk, that's really bad, or a Captain of a Watch, that's also really bad.
You've seen that happen already,
that
right?
happened.
That's cute. That's definitely cute.
So if you pull any of those cards, that's something to watch out for.
And I think we can say that this is the pick of the pack, and then
the rest.
The rest, which we're not really going to get into.
More dependent on what you previously drafted.
Yep. So that's pack 1, and we'll get into pack 2 next. Pack 2, 2013 core set. Everyone loves themselves the core set.
Killer Field
Yes.
Ox getting it done.
Love that card.
Safe Passage can be a blowout, but Liana's Shade.
Liana's Shade. Harbor Serpent.
Giant Spider. Except this is the real Giant Spider that's not Giant Spider.
Giant Terror Spider.
Giant Earth Spider.
Turn to Slag. Oh god, that card is so bad. Alright. Bountiful Harvest.
Rats. Mario's favorite card in the world.
Love me some fairies.
My favorite card in the world.
Oh.
Okay, so we have our first one of the ring cycle. This is the red one. This is Ring of Valkus. Pretty much they all provide an ability that's linked to the color, because this is red and the ability is haste. And if the color matches the color it represents, you get a +1/+1 counter to it at the beginning of your upkeep. It's okay.
It's okay. I think out of the ring cycle, I think I like haste the least, but you just still can't go wrong with +1/+1 counter at the beginning of your upkeep.
Yeah.
That alone in the cost to cast and equip is very
reasonable.
So
it's reasonable.
It's a fine cycle. I enjoy it.
Revive. It's fine.
And what do we got for a rare? Mutilate. Okay. Normally, just obviously evaluate the rare first and see if you wanna.
Mutilate has a large color commitment. Not only because it's double black, but it also
its ability is color
wants you to run lots of swamps.
Lots of swamps, and
or maybe not lots of swamps. This is just a core set, so if you have 3 or 4 out, it's going to be freaking boss.
It could be a blow. You know what? I don't know. When you put it that way, it forces. If you're gonna have 4 swamps, -4/-4 down the turn is.
Well, yeah, it kills everything. It'll be Wrath.
It's Wrath, and I guess we've talked about that before. Wrath effects really aren't good and limited.
They're a little bit too costly.
Yeah, it's kind of not what you want to be doing.
So, but even so, I think it goes into the discussion for first pick.
It does. You have to keep into account that it's a reasonable first. It's reasonable. You got to remember that if you pass this along, your person to your left very well could take this and be in black. So if you do see some other black card that's coming along, pack 2, probably not. There's a chance that you may not see black cards coming back. Anyway, I digress about that. All right, let's see. Looking through these cards, I want to say Bountiful Harvest is the worst card in this pack by far.
Yeah.
Yep. Life gain is overrated.
And there are much better things you can be doing on turn 5.
Yeah.
Than gaining 5 life, so +5.
So I guess we try. This pack, overall I think is semi-weak. So first pick, I guess let's take out what we know we're not going to take first.
All right, Harbor Serpent.
Yes.
Go away.
Where are you? Where are you, Harbor Serpent? There you are. It's the oh my goodness Island Walk dude. Pillarfield Ox. You get a cut. I'm sorry. I like you, but Ravenous Rats.
Yep. Turn to Slag.
Yes.
I like Phyrexia reprints, but no. I like Revive, but it's not a first pick.
No, it's not. Ain't first pick.
I like Safe Passage, but it's not a first pick.
Very cute combat trick, though.
I'm feeling very depressed if I take Goblin Arsonist first, so...
And not the ring either.
Not the ring either.
It's an uncommon. You'll possibly get another one.
So, we've narrowed it down, and it pretty much comes down to what color do you like to run. If if you like to run green, you probably want to take either Duskdale Worm or Giant Spider.
A 4/4 with visions.
And Reach.
When I'm evaluating draft picks, sometimes I think about do I want to be facing down this card? Like that's sometimes the way I evaluate cards, and I know if my opponent plays a 4/4 Vigilance and Reach, I'm gonna be kind of sad.
Yep.
It's a very good card. It's a common. You may see one again.
Actually, 3 of these 4 cards are commons.
Commons. Go figure, huh?
The only uncommon is Duskdale Worm, who is a 7/7 for 7 with Trample.
I know it's turn aside, but it's still removal. It's not good removal.
Yeah, it's 5 cost double color
but
removal.
Yeah, but
I mean, while you're talking about that, Mutilate's also still
true.
around.
But I agree. We can get down to these 4, and
I really think it depends on what you want to play.
exactly. I think it's your play style.
If you want to leave things open, the only real option is Fairy Invaders, because it's the only thing with a single color cost. Liliana Shade is double black, and the Spider and the Worm are both double green. So that's...
This is actually interesting, because I think in our contrast of play styles, I would probably take Fairy Invaders.
No.
My 3/3 with flash and flying for 5. Sure, okay, that's fine. I'd probably take that. It has evasion. My gripe about this card is that it does not have flying. I really think Shade should have flying, and it doesn't. And that's why I cut this card, because yeah, it has the pump. It's very nice, but it doesn't have evasion.
And it's a 1/1 for 4.
And this, if it had flying, this card would probably be an uncommon, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, I would take the Fairy Invaders, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're gonna take Duskdale Worm.
That would be high on my list of things to take.
Yeah, 7/7 with Trample is a thing.
Yes.
And
yeah, you drop Duskdale Worm. There's not a whole lot of cards that
can take care of that.
Can take care of it on a 1-for-1 basis.
This Pacifism and the other white removal card, Mutilate, perhaps, but
and Murder.
Murder. Yes. So yep. 1 and 2 right here. Moving on.
Spider only doesn't make the pick because it's common.
Yeah.
I would probably get another one. Or the chances of me seeing another Duskdale Worm are pretty slim. Unless I had gotten repeatedly punched in the face by flyers the previous day or something, in which case I'd first pick the Spider. Because that's how I roll.
So it's safe to say you can't go wrong with either of these 3 as a first pick. If you're looking at card quality in a vacuum, I'd probably look at the removal next that's in here.
Yep.
Put that in if you want to call it the second tier of card quality.
Yep.
I think Harbor Servant can be put there as well.
Yeah, I guess.
It has the 5 more islands on the battlefield thing, but if you're playing, so it makes you have to play islands, a lot of islands, but at the same time, if your opponent is, then
it's fine. I end up boarding cards like Harbor Serpent because
maybe if you're playing like a slower control-ish kind of deck.
Yeah, and my opponent's playing islands. My opponent's playing islands.
Sure.
So I drop that guy.
Oh, obviously.
And then pray it doesn't get switcherooed because that is bad news.
Second tier.
Yep. Safe Passage.
Excellent
Safe
combat
Passage
tricks.
is a card that you need to be aware of because
it can be a blowout.
It can be a blowout.
And instant speed combat tricks.
You also
usually
need to be
like
careful about
deck.
it's not necessarily just a combat trick. Because somebody tries to instant speed fireball you for like $1 billion, you can just play First Passage and essentially counter the spell.
Yep. I don't think we really need to get into the rest of these cards.
We don't need to talk about how awesome Goblin Arsonist is.
I want to talk about how awesome Pillarfield Ox is, though.
Alright.
I love the art on that card.
Alright. He's giant
he's
spider
so big.
without reach.
Yes. Yeah. That tells you anything.
Which sounds really bad.
Yeah.
If you're in a green heavy deck, obviously Revive is good.
Yep, Revive is definitely a consideration.
So after they waste like half their deck trying to get rid of your Duskdale Worm, you just spend 2 mana and put it back in your hand.
Yeah. It's anti-removal.
I mean, that's sad.
Yeah. The only thing that you never want to see when you're running Revive is pacifism.
Yeah, pass because
that's it. But you can't think like that.
No.
No, you don't play to. You know, you may
and if
have
you see
this
pacifism,
card.
you're running green, so you should have enchantment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Elder Scale Worm is a 7/7 for 7. That when it enters the battlefield, if your life total is less than 7, it becomes 7. And as long as you have 7 or more life, damage that would be dealt to you that would reduce your life total to less than 7 reduces it to 7 instead.
Very annoying for your opponent.
Which means pretty much
obviously
you can't die to most of the things that kill you in this set.
Yes.
If something causes you to lose life, but not through damage, and I cannot think of, like, say if you signed in blood yourself for some reason, or your opponent signed your in blood you, which is a card that does black. It costs black. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. That is not damage, so it will get around the fact that damage can't reduce your life to less than 7.
First pick. Because the person to the left of you will just look at you like you have a bajillion heads.
Or the person will look at you and say, get out.
I guess let's actually try and make this difficult on ourselves. So, alright. Let's get rid of the cards that we're not going to pick. Yes. ASAP. My God. No, you don't. Todd, is this on camera?
No. See where the lens is?
No, well...
Yeah, it is.
No.
That's why I said if you...
No.
You were slightly high left.
Bad.
Do it in the middle again, like right here.
Never. That's what I think of this card.
You can do it again with Angel's Mercy because that is also bad.
I will. Matt, I'm sorry. I know this is sacrilege too.
It's your money.
Bad. Okay. So.
Mercy.
So when you go to build your steel deck out of this, you're gonna tape those 2 back together?
No. The first thing I'm gonna say is, all right, guys, look, these cards are ripped up for a reason. But actually, well, Phyrexian Hulk.
It's all gonna be in the same video. Don't worry.
Phyrexian Hulk is a maybe if I'm truly terribly desperate.
If you have one creature.
Kindle Fury, not a first pick. Wall of Fire, not a first pick.
Almost a card ripping there. First pick. Yeah, that guy's not bad.
Bloodborne Vampire. There's not many sack outlets, as far as I recall in this set, at least in limited, that you want to be.
Scroll Thief is something you definitely want to consider based on
Bloodghast doesn't exist anymore.
Armored Knight, or Attended Knight rather, is first pickable. Switcheroo, pretty much.
That won't be coming back to you.
Ranger's Path is not first pickable.
Ramp is not first pickable. Courtly Provocateur.
Courtly Provocateur
is a little bit too cute.
I agree. It's not a first pick. You're not gonna. It's a fine card. But you're not gonna pick it first.
Neither is a vanilla tutu. Neither is a
bear.
bear.
Let's get that out of there. Yeah, pick one. I think we eliminate Scroll Thief because it's a very nice ability, obviously, but I don't see how many times you can get a 1/3 through unless you have another way to give it evasion.
Well, a 1/3 in this particular format is actually
it's a good blocker. I agree.
Well, I'm disagreeing with you just because Exalted is a thing.
Fair enough.
You know, if you swing a 1/3, you're right. Doesn't get through too many times. Although the creatures in this format tend towards small. But if you have a couple of Exalted triggers or a way to give it flying, Kite Sail is in the set, or other evasion, there's Scroll Thief can really take over a game. If you're running like blue-green and you have something else that's much more important to block, Scroll Thief will get through and it'll get you card advantage. It doesn't need to connect that often to be really good.
It's a threat. It also.
Would I take it first over a Switcheroo and Attended Knight? Absolutely not.
No. I'm going to move these over to the side because I feel like, and I think you'll agree, is that these 3 cards are all first pick worthy.
Yep.
Depending on your play style and I think overall, this card is the most powerful in a vacuum. First Strike is obviously a very great ability in a creature-centric format. So that would be my first pick. And the reason why I wouldn't pick this card first is because it's a great card, and you're gonna get blown out by it. And I think it's a second or third pick. The reason is because if you're playing against your opponent and they don't have a bomb that you want to switch with, you know, it's a stalled board and you all have mediocre cards. I don't see why you can get benefit. I guess if like one of the creatures on their board has Exalted, and that's the only thing you need to push through that extra bit of damage or whatever. I know it has potential, and that's why it's right up there.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it may just be one of those cards in your hand. You're like, it's not useful right now.
Yep. Yeah, so, it's essentially essentially control magic. Control magic is really good.
Yes.
Control magic wins games.
Not saying
this
it's
card can also do things like if you have a creature that's pacified, you can switcheroo your pacified creature with one of their creatures that's useful. It's really good that way too. Also, unlike control magic, you can't get rid of the effect. It's just under your control.
I think the other thing is that you can. I don't know. Me personally, I'm always trying to find a creature first.
Yeah. I probably would not first pick switcheroo either, and I'd feel really bad about it.
Yeah,
because I just spent the rest of the draft going, man, I'm going to get blown out by switcheroo, and it's going to be awesome.
Yes. So first, second, third.
Okay.
All
right. I can get behind that.
I can get behind these as fourth, pickable, and then and the rest is, I mean, this card is cute, you know. I mean, the abilities, it's two abilities, it can't be overlooked.
Yep.
And I'm sure there'll be situations where you'd want to. This would be handy. However, you know, I think a lot of times it's just going to be a meh kind of card. And you have vanilla 2/2 for 2, and a bunch of other cards that are probably just fillers and picks later in the draft. So these are the important ones, and these are not so important. And that's the pack.
Yep. I mean, bears are always.
Oh yeah, no, it can't be overlooked. I mean, it's a filler.
I love my bears.
Curve filler. I think this pack overall is of above average quality. Obviously, because you had to think about this a bit. Second pick, first pick's obvious, but you can assume that your opponent's probably gonna try and move into white. With the way we have set this up.
The only thing about Elder Scroll, the Big Worm, is that it is triple green, so obviously it forces you to commit to green.
Then that's why you're hoping Ranger's Path tables, which it's possible. It's possible
unless there's another good green pack. Around.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah.
Yep. I think you take Ranger Elder Scroll Worm, even if you're not really in that color, and pack 2, just so that you don't have to deal with it, because there's just not a whole lot of ways to deal with it. It's like so you pacify it. Now you really can't win because he's never going to attack with it, so you can't stack block it.
Yep. I agree.
So, yeah. Door.
Love that card. I love it. Simple and to the point.
Water Courser. That card makes blocking extremely difficult. Duress, probably not worth it.
Nope. Sideboard card.
It reads black. Look at your opponent's hand.
Yeah. Take their Jace memory add-up, and you just
another one of my favorite cards.
Yes.
I know 5/6 for 6.
Hey, at least it's better than Phyrexian Hulk.
Yeah, it is. It is a worm.
Phyrexian Hulk is vastly inferior to that.
We talk about Canyon Minotaur. Now we have some Canyon Minotaur action.
Alright.
Knight of Infamy, Black Knight, -1 power, and he got exalted. Augur of Bolus.
When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. We'll get to why I don't like that card.
Because it's
limited.
lame. Because you shouldn't
I think
really be
Clock-
running that many instants or sorceries.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Clock of Omens. Also
Wow.
not good in
Let's talk about a card that...
not good in limited.
No.
It could be if you're running lots of Phyrexian Hulks.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Which I would be.
Okay, fair enough.
Drumroll, rare, mythic rare.
Faith's Reward.
Oh, no.
So that's in the
guess,
no file.
you know.
Okay. So, first pick... Alright, let's see.
Why don't you just go with not first pick first to move all the
Yeah, let's
crappy
move
cards
up.
out
Yeah,
of the way.
yeah. Good idea. Alright. Duress. You are sideboard. Clock of Omens. Naturalize. Sideboard.
At least it's a good sideboard card, unlike
It
those
is.
other 2 cards.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, no. If they're playing, if they have
Going the
a
right
Jace,
way.
you know, no. But yeah.
If they're running the Growly face deck, then I guess
Yeah.
Fort Alex not
Yeah.
a first pick.
I'm sorry. I like him, but you know, obviously.
Bias.
Safe Passage,
Nope.
not a first pick. Vile Rebirth,
Yep.
not a first pick. I love my vanilla 5/6s for 6, but not a first pick.
But real quick though, I just think Vile Rebirth, even though it's not good in limited,
I think
it's gonna be. I think it's a potentially good card in other formats.
I think this is you could have worse 23rd cards than Vile Rebirth.
Agree.
I think
I mean, at worst, it gives you a 2/2 creature.
in most limited decks, you know, there's gonna be creatures in the graveyard, so it's essentially a 2/2 for 1.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen on, but you can't cast it until like turn 3.
Where
It's
was this?
Instant speed.
Yeah. Where was this though in the last set? That's what you know. There's a reason why.
No comment.
You're gonna need this when Dredge becomes a thing again.
3/3s for 4 are fine, but
Standard.
not first pick. So we're looking at these 6. Faith's Reward is honestly only in here because it's a rare.
Yes. Agreed.
It's instant speed. There are places where it's good. Maybe if you're running some sort of white weenie setup, so you turn things sideways, make a bunch of trades, and then Faith's Reward.
I guess
I'm not sure that's not
no,
what you want to be. For
maybe
the
if
first
you're
pick.
I think it's just Magic Christmas Land. If you're say your opponent murders your win condition, and you're like, oh no, Faith's Reward. It's like.
I think this is better for the stall board. I'm going to swing, and we're going to make some. You're going to think you're making some trades.
Yep.
But in actuality, I just bunched for 1.
Yeah.
I think that's and it does okay in that response in that area. Though.
It's cute. But first pick, no. No way.
Murder is this pack isn't very good.
Well, I mean,
Murder is
this card, like we were saying earlier, is just it's cool. I mean, it might have some implications in other formats, but in a format where you don't want to have too many non-creature cards in your deck.
Todd's cranking porn music.
Yeah, this isn't really where you want to be with.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you could build a deck if you wanted to build around it. But do you really want to build a deck around it?
No. Yeah.
That has an ETB.
Okay.
And then you get one of them.
Yep.
And then you're screwed.
Murder is removal.
Murder is my number one pick
I like
in this pack.
for this pack.
Removal is
really
removal is
good.
premium in draft, and that's good removal.
It's good, but it's also double black. It's not removal you can splash for. You have to be running black. To be able to run
Yeah.
it.
No, I know.
To be able to
You're running.
activate
Yeah,
it.
you're running. Black's one of your primary colors. Yeah.
And
not
it's
just
and it's the one that you want to run more of too, because if you want to cast this on turn 3, turn 4, you need 2 out of your first 3 or 4 lands to be black.
Yeah, I understand that. I
Still,
just don't.
still definitely,
Yeah.
like first pickable. I'm not gonna.
I don't worry too much about the converted mana cost is 1 black just because I don't see myself having to want to cast it on 3 or 4. I think players that would tend to want to save it for maybe later on, and I think hopefully at that point you are hitting you have your double black,
Mm-hmm.
But I agree that
The other thing is I'm really not a huge fan of running black in this set, especially as a primary color. It's
Well,
just,
you've done some events, so I mean,
it's not like if you go back and look at those
I've
first
yet to.
three packs, 4 packs. How many good black cards have we seen? Like
in this,
Mutilate?
no, yep. Though
Shade?
Black does have, though, I think one of the best cards in the set, like for
yeah.
non-rare, non-mythic card.
Okay, so
you know
if
which
we
one, right?
If I open Vampire
Nighthawk,
then,
yes.
then sure.
Sure.
Then sure. If I open
Live in the
mythic,
dream. You
the
live in
mythic
the dream.
uncommon, then yeah.
Yep.
The
mythic uncommon, yeah. All
so
right.
that's my only thing about murder.
Okay.
So obviously got a choice if we want to see blue and black. Watercourser makes blocking extremely awkward. If when you get to a later game, and your opponent and some player with Watercourser has a bunch of blue mana open, you have to block it because otherwise you get to take 4.
It's a great blocker or a really good attacker. I mean, it can turn into a glass cannon, or it can get in there for tons of damage units, or it's just a great blocker, like you said, and it makes combat interaction awkward. But I just don't. It's a common. You're probably gonna see more of them. That's why, in my opinion, it's either murder or 2/1 uncommon for 2, pearl white. White's very popular, limited color, and it has exalted, which helps your other creatures. Even if it doesn't block, it helps. It benefits your team.
I was probably thinking Knight.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking Watercourser, just based on I have not seen many good decks running black.
Yeah.
In limited so far. My admittedly extremely limited experience. This card is a 2/1 flyer for 2, and that's always good.
Which cannot be overlooked. Yeah.
I mean, it has high flying because it can only block other creatures with flying. But
a 2/1 flyer for 2.
It's
I mean,
fine.
Your opponent's usually never going to have something to answer that for, I think, a couple turns, and you're going to get in there for a little while, for damage for a bit. So
I think the Knight's probably the pick, though.
Yeah, we'll do this. I think it's close. I mean, I think it's in a matter of opinion. And then you have your second tier of pickable cards, like we discussed already. Honestly, I think the rest of the pack is very meh.
Yeah.
But a 3/3 for 4 is a great filler, and also 3/3s, it's fine.
Big dumb dude.
Yep, he was next. And then
maybe Violet Rebirth. Maybe Safe Passage.
No, yeah, it's a good combat trick. I'd have to put it here.
I like this guy. This is essentially like it's not. It doesn't have. It's essentially got flash. It's a 2/2 with flash, Mario. That's how you should think of it. Isn't it so much better now?
Yeah, I know. #1 now. I love. Just so y'all know, I'm a huge fan of Flash. So that's why Brett. That's why we're.
And then you've got meh.
Then you got meh.
Yep.
Nope.
Naturalize, obvious, good sideboard card. If somebody's running an extremely troublesome enchantment.
You got a couple good sideboard cards. Let's not forget him now, though. I mean, he's a 1/3. He's a 1/3. So.
Pillarfield Ox.
Yeah. I think that's where you're going, and then the rest is just whatever you're.
All right. So that's that.
That's that pack.
So we were talking about mediocre black cards before, and now we've got some more mediocre black cards.
Liliana Shade. Shade should have flying. Don't you
Still.
think? Right? Shade.
They should still have flying. Harbor Serpent still
flying or some kind of other evasion.
Kindle's Fury.
Even if it's shadow.
You think a ghost? You think spirit? You think flying?
Got some Ranger's
Even
Path.
though shadow is way worse than flying.
For the first time, we get to release the Kraken.
Yes.
3/2 with Intimidate. Fine. Essence Scatter, which is a good sideboard card. Dragon Hatchling. 0/1 flyer with fire breathing.
Yeah. you're pumping a lot into a card that's going to be a flying glass cannon and gets blocked by, I think, the 1/1 flyer for one white bird soldier. Yes. So too big of a mana investment for
Encrust,
too little of a benefit. in my
blue
opinion.
pacifism. It needs to be tapped, but because it doesn't tap. The thing about Encrust is that it does not tap the creature by itself, but if it happens to be tapped, then it doesn't untap.
Yep.
And its activated abilities can't be activated,
You-
which is cool. It doesn't help you against Exalted.
You see a lot of cards like that, in the past couple sets, and there's always something like this, right? But
Yeah.
I guarantee there'll be people that misread that and think it's just going to tap it too,
Yeah.
and they're going to be like, ooh, well.
Another
hey,
pacifism. A Furnace Whelp, which happens to be the better version. For 2 extra mana, you get 2 extra power. Next we've got Fog Bank, which is a card that will frustrate your opponent to no end every time you play it.
Oh my.
Um,
Totally agree.
Knight of Glory. So we last pack we saw the Black Knight reprint. Now we've got the White Knight version, who's also lost a point of power and also has Exalted. Our rare is the substantially underwhelming Phylactery Lich.
Ah, boo.
Maybe that'd get it make us run that silly clock card.
I think I'm going to pick the soldier token as first pick.
I'm all over that mountain.
Alright.
Another
Cards we're not going to play.
Particularly awesome pack.
No, this pack is...
Pretty much.
This pack may be the most underwhelming pack we've...
There's not enough artifacts.
So there's not enough artifacts, either in our pool or in the set in general, to really run Phylactery.
Triple black, it's just not going to happen.
Yep.
No.
Triple black, you need an artifact
Phylactery Lich.
to
No.
cast it.
No. What's the indestructible artifact? Is it the for 0? That was
Darksteel Relic?
yeah. That's
Totally
cute,
want that.
but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Alright,
But
no.
it's not around.
Exactly.
Okay,
Kindled Fury.
combat trick.
You are not.
You are
Probably
not a
get rid
first
of
pick.
this.
Liliana's
Shade.
Shade, still not a first pick. Harbor Serpent, still not a first pick. Releasing the Kraken is amusing, but not a first pick.
No.
Essence Scatter is a solid sideboard card, but not very good.
If you're playing blue,
Maybe you
it's
may
all
want
about
it.
creatures. I think
Maybe
you
you
can.
may
I think you can get this in there as one of the maybe like.
Maybe if the rest of
One
your
of
cards
yours.
are I think I think I'd have to be hard pressed to main deck Essence Scatter. Though
It's a late
would
pick.
be-
It's a late pick.
Yeah, it's like 22nd, 23rd card.
Yeah.
I wouldn't first.
I wouldn't first pick this with this here.
No.
No.
I wouldn't
Not
first
even
pick.
without that there, probably.
Yup.
Yeah.
Unless the pack was horrible.
Yeah.
Which this pack is not spectacular.
This pack is really
Yeah, but you got these,
yeah.
You've got Encrusted
which already is
Pacifism.
over that.
It's 2 good cards. Fog Bank, I'm not sure that's where you want to be for your first pick.
I think we have relatively mediocre cards all in the
Yeah.
and that's what makes this. I think that's what makes this pick tough.
Yep.
This one's alright.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really depends on what you want to play. A 3/2 with Intimidate for
Yeah.
4 doesn't sound that impressive, but given what else is in this pack,
Mhm.
I might take it first.
Yeah.
I know from Heirs of Stromkirk or Heirs of... wasn't it
Is of Stromkirk. Yeah.
From Avacyn Restored that if you have Intimidate and your
It's-
opponent does not...
That card is so
it can-
good.
Yeah, that'll really run away
Is of Stromkirk.
in
Yeah.
a huge way. Furnace Whelp I'm not in love with. 2/2 for
No,
4 is
no.
not exactly where I want
With the
to be.
fire breathing, I don't like it.
That being said, if I was really wanting to run red, I might pick it because it is an uncommon. Maybe I'd see another 3/2 with Intimidate.
I'm probably just gonna take the removal here.
Pacifism.
I'm probably just gonna take the pacifism.
I like pacifism.
If you're
Knight
in
of
white, take pacifism. If you're in blue, because if this is on your third pack, you already have most of your deck.
Yeah.
So if you're not in white at all, obviously
you wouldn't take them.
you wouldn't take the pacifism.
unless you already have a bunch of playables and you just want to get rid of the pacifism,
which totally viable option.
which is
Yeah.
perfect.
Key drafting is always good.
Mm-hmm.
If this was my first pack, first off, I'd be really
Yeah. Pack one,
depressed.
pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I got over my depression, I might take I'd probably take pacifism.
Yeah, I just
Knight
don't
of
see.
Glory is
These, I mean,
is
these uncommons.
not.
This uncommon is underwhelming. I think they're all in the same league though in terms
Yep.
of power. That's the problem. That's
Yep.
why this pack is.
If I'm in the mood
tough.
for griefing, I take Fog Bank. Make everybody hate me.
Yeah.
That guy. Who's windmill slams Fog Bank on turn 2. And then they're like, oh.
Well, I think that's why it's a testament to how I don't think it's a good card though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a little bit too defensive.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be taking, super defensive cards on my first pick. It's not exactly. All right, here's my plan. I'm going to turtle my pick 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be Kraken Hatchling. It's going to
Kraken
be
Hatchling
awesome.
into Crackling Hatchling into Fog Bank.
Yeah.
And
living
called
the dream
yeah.
of making my opponent
Hate
quit
me.
in
Yeah.
frustration. I want this match to go to time. The famous 0-0 tie.
So I'm gonna say that pacifism and Knight of Glory are the top 2 cards left over. I mean, Pro Black, it's a 2/1, but it has Exalted at least, and at the very least, it's buffing your other creatures. If,
Yep.
if you're attacking.
And it has
one of
Pro
your
Black,
creatures.
which is potentially a blowout.
Yeah,
If-
I mean,
if
murder.
Black-
I don't know. It's just
If murder doesn't work against it.
yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Just in case, it blocks those underwhelming black creatures that we've seen all day.
Yeah, and I guess the other cards here are just. It's a matter of preference.
Crust,
Fog Bank.
In Crust, it doesn't tap the creature, but what it does do is it also shuts off artifacts. It means if somebody plays an equipment and it isn't currently equipped, you can play Encrust on it, and then they can't equip it.
Yep.
There's not that many terrible artifacts that I want to Encrust.
Yeah.
But in
and
case
at
my
least
opponent has some crazy combo with that clock thing, I guess we could do that.
Well, if you want
we
to,
could
guess
encrust it.
shut off one of the rings, I guess.
Yeah, shutting off equipment.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more useful at shutting off creatures.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you mostly use at least in this set.
Yep. And it does prevent, if your opponent's creature has an ability that's bad, it turns off the ability. So even if the creature itself isn't tapped, the ability's not used. So that's good.
Agree.
That's good. So, other card, beyond pick 1, we've got some Essence Scatter action.
Yeah.
Some Big Dumb Harbor Serpent action.
Yep.
Some Ranger's Path ramping action. And a whole lot of...
Just
wow.
Yeah. No,
Action.
this pack is just really, really
Not good.
not good. Yeah, it's just not good. So yeah, probably these 2 cards would be the top in this set, and you work your way from there. I mean, it's a matter of preference, and I think in a vacuum, probably level it like this. But yeah, this pack is this pack is boo. Our analysis, boo.
That's exciting. Really exciting.
Oh god, I see Bountiful Harvest.
You're wrong. This
No?
is Farseek.
Oh, Farseek.
We see
Alright.
Farseek. The card that we were talking about.
No, not you.
Off camera.
It's so
Game is
yeah.
being an asshole.
It's so weird that it just doesn't search for a. It searches
Does
for any
everything
basic land
but
type except.
forests.
Please, don't hurt
Just
yourself.
remember that it does not search for forests.
It's not a better rampant growth.
Hey guys, foil it. Our first and only foil.
Yes.
Rummaging Goblin.
Excellent.
Looting is cool.
No,
I like looting.
this card is deceivingly good. I think it's deceivingly
Eating
good.
taste. Which, fortunately, we can accomplish in this pack because we also have the red ring.
Yes. So that's the second red ring we've opened in the
Yep.
5 other pack in six packs.
Wild Guess is fine if you like. It's looting.
Yeah. We'll get to that card. I got a couple things to say about that one.
The thing you have to be careful of is it looks like it might be card advantage, but it is not. You are using 2 cards, and you are getting 2 cards. It is not card advantage.
Exactly. Yep. No, it is not.
Fire Elemental. 5/4 for 5. Getting it done. Mark of the Vampire. I guess if you like running auras, you could run it.
I think that card is potentially.
It's potentially really good.
Yeah.
But it suffers the problem. It suffers the aura problem.
Yes.
And that, for those of you who do not know what the aura problem is that if somebody casts removal on your card that you're targeting with your aura, you get 2 for 1s.
2 for 1s.
And you generally make a large, smart, frowny face, and probably lose the game.
Speaking of auras, are we getting a Rancor in this pack?
No.
No Rancors.
We are getting a Tricks of the Trade, which I guess you strap it on your Scroll Thief and just
there you go. That's the card I'm looking for a Scroll Thief.
So okay,
the 1/3
unblockable that makes you.
Whenever it deals combat damage to a Scroll Thief, it's 1/3. Whenever it deals combat damage to your opponent, you may draw or you draw.
You may.
Okay.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. There are
No.
very few situations where you would not.
Exactly.
Spiked Baloth 4/3 with trample for 4. 4/2 with trample.
4/2. Yes.
4/3 is a little too
that
good.
That card, I think that card. 4/3 I think is too good. The 4/2 for 4. It's fine. I mean, it trades with a probably like maybe one of your opponent's maybe 1 or 2 drop.
Goblin Battle Jester. Maybe good, maybe not. Probably not so much in your limited deck. Yep. Awesome. A Johnny Sunstriker. Double white lifelink.
Yeah.
2/2.
Double white. That's
Double
tough.
white
I think
makes
if it cost anything else though, it'd be too good.
Yep. Especially for a common. Duress.
Good job, Wizards.
Still not
good in limited.
Healer
Sight it in though if your opponent's playing
Healer of the Pride. This card is interesting. It's a 2/3 for 4 with a relevant ability. It's got double Soul Warden attached to it.
I think I'd rather have this card in terms of same casting cost, and it's just a common, and that's an uncommon.
That's true. I think this is probably consistently better in a sealed pool. Maybe not in a draft, but a sealed. I think people aren't going to use removal on it, and gaining 2 life every time you get a creature into play. So how many creatures are you going to get into play after you hit 4?
But don't underestimate the ability to make one of your opponent's creatures.
Yeah, but it requires you to have a red spell. To make something unblockable. So.
Okay.
So there's that.
There is that caveat.
Tormod's Crypt. As far as limited applications, I guess you blow out your opponent when he casts that black card, but he'd have to be pretty careless if you had Tormod's Crypt out and he tried to cast it. It seems like a bad plan.
Another way was this to battle Snapcaster Mage?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe?
Anti-Snapcaster Mage.
Sure. Well, that green card is that green enchantment for 2.
Whose name we will look up later.
Yes.
That green card.
You guys will know it. It just poses so many different strategies.
Okay. So, Staff of Nin 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 Whoosh. One-sided Howling Mine for 6. And it pings. I'm not sure that's where I want to be at 6 drop.
No. I do. Obviously, the draw ability is really nice, but if you're casting that at 6, it's a clock, I guess. Is it player 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's awesome.
A stalled board. It wins a stalled board, I guess.
Yeah.
Eventually, but the 1 damage to target creature is almost irrelevant at that point.
Yep.
I guess I could see you activating this ability after probably post combat main. Maybe if you could get that 1 more damage in.
Sure.
It's not first pick. It's not a first pick.
Maybe your opponent doesn't see it, and
I think
you
I'm just
can make some blocks, and you can get some little bit more value out of your cards.
I think I'm just trying to make a bad card, like an overall not that great of a
gives
card.
all your creatures +1 more power. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Except not at the same time.
This is me trying to make Staff of Nin. I'm trying to make it semi-playable, but it's not, and it's not first pick. So bye.
Okay, Tormod's Crypt, also not first pick. Duress.
No,
wasn't first
Duress.
pick before, and it's still not now.
Ring.
No. Fire Elemental. I don't think I want to pick a vanilla 5/4 for 5 first.
I do
Unless
not.
well, maybe if it's like pack 3 and I really, really need a 5/4.
Yeah. It gets you there sometimes, I guess.
Getting there.
Johnny Sunstriker.
Yeah.
White. I want this card to be 1 white so bad.
Nope.
But
nope.
No.
It's the prototypical good double white 2-drop.
Just like
Samurai the Pale Curtain.
Samurai the Pale Curtain. Is the 2-1 with Vigilance and Undying.
Yep.
From
yeah.
Dark Ascension.
Yep.
Oh, Loyal Cathar. Yes.
Farseek. maybe if this is pack 3 and I've been dealing with questionable mana base, then I'm really happy to see Farseek.
Definitely.
But the most important thing about Farseek is that it doesn't search for forests.
Yes.
Cannot stress that.
Yeah.
But it's not
this and Encrust. People are going to misplay
badly. I am generally against first picking auras.
Yeah, no.
That are not
unless it's Rancor.
Maybe
not even Rancor. No.
Maybe not even Rancor.
Which is a testament to how
Yep.
very rarely you pick auras first.
Yep.
Angelic Destiny, yes.
Wild Guess, probably not either.
This is another bad pack.
Yes, it is.
We have just been opening bad packs. Overall.
Yes,
it's terrible. These are terrible packs. I'm sorry. For any of you who are watching right now, I'm sorry that these packs are very mediocre at best. But we will make do.
I think I think I'd be happy with these packs as my seal pool, mostly because it has that giant green I'm going to punch you in the face guy.
And if you people are lucky, we might actually get to do a seal analysis.
Ooh.
With these packs that we open. Yeah. Wow.
It's a big electricity state.
Wow, bro. This is
okay, so now we're talking first pick Healer of the Pride. If you are ever at this point, it's a sad day. I don't want to first pick any of these cards.
I don't.
I just don't. I don't. I just take the entire pack, I take the land, and I just pass the entire thing to the left.
This is terrible.
Or right, if it's pack 2.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna go with Rummaging Goblin as my first pick. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna tell you why. A 4/2 with Trample for 4. Trample's great, but I really it trades with it can trade with an opponent's 1-drop or a 2-drop. You know, I mean, it trades with a whatever X first striker, the Knights. I don't know. Maybe it gets through those extra little points of damage that you may need to get through at the end game. I don't know. I personally don't like. I don't think this card is that where you want to be at 4. Healer of the Pride, 2/3 for 4. Decent body, I guess. Its ability can become very annoying, and I mean,
if you play Captain of the Watch the next turn, then it's pretty much like, oh no.
Yeah.
You're gonna gain 6 life and put about 1,000 power into play.
Opponent
all has
face.
vigilance. And you mad?
You mad, bro? Yeah. Yeah, I guess any of these 3 cards. All right, pack 1, pick 1. No, because you don't know if you're gonna be in red yet.
Yep.
But if this is pack 3, I say
red?
Yeah, sure. That's a first pick.
Yep.
Looting's really powerful, and when you keep drawing lands, you get mana flooded, or late game, you draw a card off the top, and it's not what you're looking for. Discard a card and draw a new one.
What about Wild Guess?
Yeah. Oh, this is a card I wanted to mention. Yeah. Do not be. First of all, it's not card advantage like you said. because you're spending a card and you're also discarding a card to draw 2. So it's a 2 for 2 equal. But late game, I think it can get you there. Don't be you know, just because it's red doesn't mean this card is definitely playable.
All right.
But overall, this pack is.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and saying that pack 1, pick 1. If I open this highly disappointing pack, I think my pick is Farseek. I'm going to tell you why. There's not a lot of mana fixing in this set. If you find yourself in a position where you want to splash or have to splash, you're going to wish you had mana fixing. And if I wind up not in green, it's one pick. I'm not terribly upset. There isn't necessarily anything in this pack that I would man, I can't believe I didn't pick that rummaging goblin. That's gonna make or break my deck.
Yeah. And I mean,
but if I'm running green, at worst it's ramp. If I'm running a deck that has more problematic color commitment, I'm gonna wish I had a Farseek. And even though it's a common,
it's a viable in a pack like this. In a pack like this, I think any of these are viable first picks. Again, it's up to your play style.
Somebody has lock.
So yes, if you take our advice, any of these are fine, and then we'll leave the rest up to you guys because
we already talked about most of those cards.
Yeah. So
and they suck.
Hope you enjoyed. Again, sorry for the disappointing pack, but
welcome to Magic.
Welcome to Magic. What we did here was we opened 6 packs, we evaluated them the cards for draft picks, and now we took all the cards from the packs and we evaluated them for sealed. And we laid them out. Prior to this video, we looked at all the different colors, and we essentially came up with green, white being the primary, our primary colors.
Because they're the colors that are good.
Yes.
So that being said, we're going to go through stuff that we're not playing and just tell you why. First up, Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. He's pretty cool. He's got a nice red expansion mark on him. He also costs 7 as in 3 colors. Right,
8.
I can't count.
That's okay.
It's 8.
Yes.
It comes in 3 colors, none of which we're actually running. So that's a cut.
And he cost X dollars, so you should just be happy to take it.
So we're just going to put him on a sleeve and be done with it, or throw it around. Red. The problem with red is that there's really only one good burn spell.
Trust us.
Flames of the 5 Rand is pretty good, but that's really all there was in red. Then we went into like 3/2 Intimidates for 4, Fire Elemental, and other awesome stuff. So we decided not to run red.
Check out the other videos if you want to see what was actually in
Black.
red. Same thing for these colors we're cutting.
They're
all in this. It's all going to be the same video.
Okay. Wow, that's going to be a long video.
Yes,
so black. There are 2 good black cards: Murder and Mutilate, and everything else was just pretty meh. So we decided not to run black. Blue. Out of the 3 colors that we cut, blue is probably the one that is closest to workable.
It's possible that you could.
You've got an Essence Scatter, and a Negate. You've got a Fog Bank, an Encrust, Switcheroo, Fairy Invaders, and then stuff goes downhill fast.
Yeah.
But
overall, I mean, you may be able to make this work, but once we get into the green and white, this is definitely not the optimum color. Yeah. It's better than black and red, but it just wasn't. It didn't have enough.
And it doesn't have synergy with either one of our strongest colors, which would have been green or white.
In fact, our green white we think is actually so good that it wasn't even worth splashing blue.
Okay, you can let's go off to the side. Artifacts. First, we've got Phyrexian Hulk. Obviously, you can see how well we appreciate Phyrexian Hulk, so screw you.
Yeah.
Clock of Omens. There's only 3 other artifacts, including Clock of Omens, so we're not running... Well, 4. One of them was hiding, so we're not running that. Staff of Nim costs 6, so no. Red
The
rings.
We're not running red.
We're not
so,
running red,
that-
and as awesome as giving some giant green stompy creature haste is,
It's a little unnecessary.
I'm pretty sure I don't want to use a card for
we
it.
could be doing better things.
Tormod's Crypt is a sideboard card in case someone's running like maybe Rise from the Grave, and one of our other cards is completely terrible. So there's that, but that's
Or
really,
the whatever the green Revive.
yeah.
We have it. Yeah. So
Yeah. In case. So let's talk. So that goes to green and white. What to do?
let's take out. First off, Angel's Mercy.
Another
card we value very highly.
You're
Another card we value very highly. So
okay.
we're throwing that one out.
So now with that, there's about 28 cards here. So we typically in a limited deck you want between 22 and 23 playables. So we don't need to make that many cuts.
No.
So
This kind of speaks for this. It kind of builds itself.
cards that we don't want to run. Bountiful Harvest. Spending 5. You know, in this deck, seeing as it wants to be a little bit more control-y, Bountiful Harvest comes closer to making the cut than most. I still don't think it's where we want to be.
No.
So, goodbye, Bountiful Harvest.
Naturalize. I mean,
It's a good sideboard card.
Yeah, we all know Naturalize. It's been reprinted a million times, and it's a great sideboard card. So, well, that's gonna get cut from the main deck, but
Yep.
like you said, it's good. Good side.
Probably don't need to run both Pillarford Oxes.
Yeah, maybe one.
fine.
We'll see. We'll see how it builds out.
But let's just go ahead and just toss one out into the board right now.
Fate's Reward.
Faith's Reward. Oh,
Where are you?
there you are. Faith's Reward.
Return to the
Yeah.
battlefield. All permanents.
Yeah, we went to the
Blah,
graveyard.
blah, yeah. No. Not a creature either.
Johnny's Sunstriker. I think.
I think we can.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It would be the only card.
We still have 27 cards. So. So I think we want to cut it, probably.
Yeah, you're probably never going to cast that on turn 2. I mean, there's other things that would. Well,
I think you want to run Elvish Visionary. You've got
You
a
do.
Silver Cut line. You've got Knight of Glory on for
yeah,
2
actually,
drops.
you know what?
I think that
Here we go. This is the I think this is the best way to show it. 2/2, both 2/2s. I don't think the lifelink is somewhat mostly irrelevant, and the casting cost is obviously much easier on us on our mana base. So, you know, in retrospect, you know,
yeah, I want to cut it.
yep.
Probably don't need 2 safe passages.
No, you don't.
We're running. Let's see. We've got for non-creature spells. We at the moment
Yeah,
have
let's break it into creatures and non-creature spells.
2 pacifisms. Divine Verdict. No, those are our 3
Alright.
removal spells.
Yep.
Safe Passage for a combat trick. And then we have
Farseek.
Farseek for
Mana
ramp
fixing,
and
ramp.
mana fixing. And Revive as a way to get back our most powerful cards if they happen to go away.
Ranger's Path.
Oh, Ranger's Path.
More
That-
mana.
that is-
Ramping.
Yep. So that brings us up to 7 non-creature spells.
Typically.
I typically like to run 6 in a sealed deck.
I think what
7 isn't totally out of the question if all 7 were really where we want to be.
we're not stretching our mana base at all. I think we can run 17 land, right?
Yep.
That leaves us with 40 card deck, 23 non-land cards. I think you want to probably be around 18 creatures or so.
Yeah.
So I think we can cut. I think we can cut it. You know, you're not going to cut these.
Yep.
And
you're
this
not gonna
is a great combat trick.
Yep.
And this is our ramp. The only one I could see maybe cutting is Revive, since we have a lot of. As you'll see, we have a lot of big creatures.
Mhm.
Where it's
That
not
are
like
green.
it's not like we're relying on one creature that would be green creature that we need to get back if they remove it. So If there was one that we're gonna cut, I think it'd be Revive.
Well, the other thing that you need to look at Revive, it actually says target green card, not green permanent.
Ooh.
So you could use that to buy back say,
yes.
Ranger's Path to get you closer to these crippled green I-cost 7 things. In addition to, man, I really wish I had whichever giant fatty back. So there's that extra utility that Revive has.
All right, we can.
I would probably cut Safe Passage or maybe Farseek, because ramping from this ramps you from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So maybe assuming that you have a third land drop, it would ramp you from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
And it gets us you a white. It would enable us to run fewer planes, which is perhaps a laudable thing.
I think so. I mean, yeah. I think it'll be easy to see if we break out the curve.
I think there's also another creature that we'd like to cut. Oh, we actually have 2 Rangers Paths, so I think we all don't need to run both.
No. Oh. There you go.
All right, that's a card to cut.
That's a card to cut.
Probably 1 Ranger's Path.
Yeah.
There's a limit on how many 4-costing mana acceleration spells you can play.
Yeah.
So, as far as creatures to cut, I think we probably want to think about cutting Roaring Primadox.
Yeah.
There's not any card that we would really want to bounce repeatedly, except maybe Guard.
Elvish Visionary.
Elvish Vision. Attended Knight. Attended Knight would be pretty silly, but still, I don't think that's.
I think maybe we'll break the creatures into a by curve, and let's see what we have.
Sure.
That might be easy to assess how we wanna, if we want to keep it or not. If we're lacking creatures in the 4-drop spot, which I think just by looking at it we weren't, but well, I mean, I think over the Ox, I think over Pillarfield Ox, you'd keep him over the Ox.
Large and in charge.
Yes.
This will be the large and in charge spot.
Yes.
So, not.
Okay.
So let's see. We've got 3, 6, 16 creatures.
16 creatures.
I don't think you're hurting in the 4 spot.
No, I don't think we're hurting in the 4 spot.
I think you cut Ox. You cut the Ox over that though.
Well, here's the thing about Primadox. If you don't have a way to combo with it, it's just a slightly cheaper 4/4. That makes your board bad because it's not a May. It's you return a creature.
Yeah, it's not a May.
All right, so we've got 22 cards.
22.
So we have 2 choices. We can either run
15 creatures and 17.
We can run 7. We can run 23 lands or 17. 18 lands. Counting, which isn't a bad move considering we have 2 7-drops, a 6-drops, and a 5-drop.
Yeah, if we're not hitting our ramp spells,
that'll be a problem.
Yes.
Speaking of the not hitting our ramp spells, we could add in the second ramp spell back in. That is the 4-costing ramp spell. The Ranger's Path.
Yeah, the second.
We could add in the second Ranger's Path. The Ranger's Path, it searches for forests, clears up.
True. Yeah, I mean,
so those are the 2 ways.
I can see that. Yeah, it's also filter in your library too.
Yeah.
As opposed to just adding the 18th land.
All right.
So I say 17 land, right? And we add the second Ranger's Path.
Sure. That sounds reasonable. I think this would probably be okay.
I really don't see how else you'd build this deck by seeing the cards that we've taken out, but I think typically this seems like there's a lot non-creature spells is slightly a little more than what you'd normally play, but there really wasn't any. There's really nothing else that you could probably, put
and
in
Rangers
this place.
Rangers Path is fine. Considering
It'll
also enable us to be a little bit more. It enables us to play our land split a little bit closer together because it searches for forests, and we need multiple forests.
Yeah.
For Dustale Worm, for Elder Scalewurm,
Our
and
win
for,
conditions.
and for Giant Earth Spider.
Yeah,
But we'd really like to have one.
And as you can
Wait for our removal and combat tricks.
Yeah, and as you can see, I mean, it's just if the deck is not hitting its fatties, it's going to be really. That's what it needs to do, and
Yep.
so adding the second Mage's Pass totally just justified.
All right. So what do you think for land split?
Well, let's see. All right, we have 17 total land.
I think you want
Early white, and late game green. I really think you can get away with. I'm thinking of the mana. We do have the Ranger's Paths.
But you do need to hit at least one green.
Yeah,
I'm
thinking 9/8
9/8, which
in
side?
favor of forest, or
Yep.
or maybe
9/8.
or 10/7.
10/7 was my
yeah.
first
I-
reaction.
I think 10/7. I don't count pacifisms as turn 2 plays anyway.
No,
And I'm not terribly upset
if we don't cast Silver Coat or Night
yeah.
of Glory. This is very similar to a deck that I played, a sealed pool that I had at pre-release. Only there are a few less exalted creatures, so its aggro draws are a whole lot less aggro-y. We only have two exalted creatures.
Yeah.
We have Night of Glory, and we have Guardians of
Acros.
Acros.
Yeah.
That thing. 0/4 Defender Exalted.
Convinced me to really like that card is good.
I'm not sure it's super good.
No,
It's certainly.
Yeah,
good.
I think it's deceivingly good.
All right, so 10/7.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably play 10/7, and then
Yeah.
if I was really hurting for white after round one, I might go to
9/8.
9/8.
The deck is. Oh, it's slow,
Yep.
but it has the potential to be
Yep.
fast and if we hit our ramp spells, and early of any of these fatties.
Yep.
I mean,
Blue-white flyers is
Active
going to be a
trouble.
problem.
Yep. We only have one card that can deal with flyers.
Well,
besides our pacifisms.
Pacifisms,
we have
Divine
Reach and
Verdict,
Divine Verdict.
and Giant Spider.
Yeah.
But that comes down at 5.
Mhm.
So super aggressive decks.
It'd be a problem.
Yeah, going to be a problem, especially once they swing through the air.
You may, against decks like that, though you probably wouldn't want to, but you're probably going to have to use your pacifisms early on.
Yep.
Against the creature on a creature that you would typically not normally.
Yeah, I think you need to play it that way.
Just so you don't get
You got to figure
your face
that
beaten
your
in.
big creatures are better than their big creatures.
God, you'd
Um,
hope.
If they're not, you just kind of go, good game, that's
Yeah.
sweet. Oh, Sphinx of Uthman, that's great.
Angel McAwesome.
Oh, Sublime Archangel,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Or just regular Archangel.
This, I think this is your typical ramp, fatty, green-white deck with some permission.
Yep. Yep. I think
So.
it'd be fine.
Yeah, I think you'll do all right with this.
I wouldn't be super upset to open the sealed pool. It's not.
No, it's okay. It's nothing. I don't think there's anything to write home about.
Yep.
But
I mean, no.
From the packs we
you're gonna
opened,
have
I mean,
stories
it's-
where you're like, I windmilled flag,
yeah.
Elder Scale
Like
won, and I
turns-
won, and it was amazing. And
Yeah.
I
turn
was-
5 worm, it's
Yep.
like, but
And his exalted creature couldn't deal with it.
no, but you saw before the packs we opened were kind of mediocre
Yep.
for the most part.
Yep.
So that's the seal pool, and that's the deck we built from it.